All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5:15 West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2:15 Hawaii time, 8:15 East Coast time, and 7:15 for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter today, and I am very late. Sorry about that. But I was editing a video poorly because I was already late, and I was going to make... I'll tell you about it when we come up to the video. Anyway, how's it, everybody? Good to see you here this Sunday afternoon. Work starts tomorrow, but apparently I am in denial. It looks like we have got folks coming in the house, I think. Let's see here. We've got Terry in Scotland saying aloha to Derby Startup. We've got Derby Startup saying, hey, you guys. And then we've got Darlene in the house asking Shakalak how that tasty melon is. Terry in Scotland also saying aloha to Darlene in the house, but Shakalak saying the most important thing. However, I disagree. Shock says ba-dooby-doo, whereas I say ba-dooby-dooby-doo. So, how's about that? Double doobies or just one? Terry in Scotland, thank you so much for that 1,000 biddies. All right, so why don't we get the party started, even though we're running late, and then we'll get back to talk about... Well, first we have a topic of juvenile interest, and then everything else I have to talk about is truly a topic for adults. And, I mean, you can keep the kids in the room if you want, but I promise you they'll leave. All right, first off, though, let's look at some kitty cats. Speaking of kitty cats, we've got Puzzy Cat in the house. Good to see you, Puzzy. And all right, Terry, did I say thank you for that 1,000 biddies? If I did, well, I'm saying it to you again, but I don't think I did. So let me say it to you now. Hey, Terry, thanks for that 1,000 biddies. All right, we've got Rick in the house saying flying forks. That's exactly right. All right, so let's see here. First off, okay, well, total random thought, y'all. I was watching a movie last night. Actually, I guess I was watching two movies last night. We watched Legends of the... For those of you who weren't at the Secret Squirrel Cinema last night, we watched Legends of the Fall. But then after that, I watched Postcards from the Edge, starring Meryl Streep and Shirley MacLaine. Shirley MacLaine is supposed to play Meryl Streep's mother in this movie. I had a hard time buying that. I don't know if you remember this movie. It came out in 1990. It was written by Carrie Fisher of Princess Leia fame, and it was based on Carrie Fisher's experience with her own famous mother, Debbie Reynolds. Now, I admit, I know the name Debbie Reynolds, but quite honestly, I have no idea who Debbie Reynolds is. In my first rereading of this whole, of who her mother was, I for some reason thought Debbie Reynolds was Natalie Wood, and she died off the boat. So clearly, I don't know anything about Debbie Reynolds. But what I do know is Shirley MacLaine and Meryl Streep are close enough in age that Shirley MacLaine should not have been playing Meryl Streep's mother. I found that really, really hard to believe. I know this movie is like really old. We're not going to do the math how old that movie is, but does anybody remember what movie I'm talking about? And did anybody else have that like hardness to even, they're like 12 years apart in age, y'all. I mean, 12 or 15 years apart in age. You get that, anyway. Rick has some Twitchahoonies problems today. I'm so sorry about that. All right, so as I warned you, Debbie Reynolds was Princess Leia's mother. Exactly. But when I first read that, I was like, oh yeah, Debbie Reynolds, the one who got killed in that boating accident that Christopher Walken was on. Which, as that turns out, that's not Debbie Reynolds at all. That was Natalie Wood. Wires were very, very crossed. And yeah, you leave the chick flick stuff to your wife. Fair enough, Puzzy Cat. All I know is the whole time I was watching the movie, I was like, I am not buying that this woman is this woman's mother. And then when I looked it up, they were like 12 or 15 years apart in age. I can't really remember. And all I know is, no, it was very poorly cast in that sense. As far as I was concerned, without very good makeup, it's hard to see her as the mother. Yeah, I mean, it just didn't. And in the movie, first off, I am not trying to disparage Meryl Streep or her aging. If you've seen her in The Devil Wears Prada 2, you know that Meryl Streep pretty much doesn't age. Her hair got gray, but her face kind of looks almost exactly the same. So don't get me wrong, I'm not disparaging how Meryl Streep looks, but Meryl Streep looked way too old to have Debbie Reynolds, or excuse me, to have Shirley MacLaine as her mom in that movie. They just didn't even look that that far apart in that movie. And even though they were trying to do the makeup, even with the makeup, it's like I am not convinced. Perhaps I've just gotten more picky with movies as I've gotten older. I don't know. And Pussycat, she likes the Good Witch shows. I feel like that's a show I've heard of, but since I don't have TV, is that a TV? Is The Good Witch actually a TV show, or am I getting that wires crossed? We know my wires get crossed with a TV show called The Good Wife. Because I know that The Good Wife was a TV show at some point, but oh, okay, Hallmark Channel. Got it. Okay, and Darlene's like, Good Witch shows? Okay, so there isn't The Good Witch. It's a Hallmark Channel theme, as it were. Okay, I get it. That makes sense. Alrighty, so, excuse me. Last night, was it last night? Maybe it was today. I think it was today. I don't remember. It doesn't matter when it happened. I found something out that kind of, I feel like I've heard this before, but I never heard it. Y'all, did you know that, well, first off, let me just ask you, are you familiar with, have you sang a song called the ABC song, the alphabet song? You know, this isn't like a Cardi B song or a whatever. This is, I'm literally talking about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That song? That song. I'm sure you know it. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb that you know it. Did you know they're trying to change that song? Yeah, the LMNOP thing. Did you know that they're trying to change the ABC song? Because apparently, and I gotta tell you, dude, in my era, I've never been a teacher, so I don't know. But in my era, as a child, I don't recall having any friends who had this problem. But apparently, teachers are saying these days, some kids actually think that LMNOP is one letter. One letter, LMNOP. Now, I understand that it's been a while since all y'all were a kid, but I'm asking you now, as a child, did you ever think that LMNOP was one letter? Or were you able to discern that it's LMNOP, just said real quick? Okay, Shock says no. Not at all surprised. Shock is smart. I like to think I'm smart. I like to think all y'all are smart. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume that maybe some of you didn't, but maybe some of you did. And you know what? I'm not implying that if you did think that, you weren't smart. You just clearly hear things differently, and everyone processes things aurally, A-U-R, through their ear, differently than other people do. But apparently it's such a big problem. It is a big problem these days, apparently. And so Darlene's saying, yep, I have, and not only with my kids, but grandkids too. Saw the video on the LMNOP part. I'm going to have to ask my daughter, Kathy, what she feels about this. She teaches lower elementary classes. Yes, absolutely. I would love to hear what Kathy feels about this. apparently some teachers really actually enjoy this new ABC song. There is a new ABC song, you guys. And I've got this video. It's about 5-6 minutes long. I apologize. It's clipped from a longer video. I literally was editing. I was grabbing this clip and shortening it. Literally, that's part of the it's part of the reason why we were late. I was already late, and I was like, well, since I'm already late, I might as well finish what I'm doing. So anyway, it's a 6-minute long video that explains a little bit about the history of the ABC song, and we get to hear both versions. And I gotta tell you, man, no, I'm not loving the new version. But I would like to, let's see here. Special ed students are more integrated than they were when we were kids. Okay, well, maybe it's a special ed kid thing. I don't know. But for those of you who haven't heard the new the new song, and for those of you who are very curious about the history of the ABC song, well, this little clip is for you. I really did want to shorten it more, but that wasn't happening. So let's learn the alphabet, shall we?
The version I'm about to play you is the original 1835 version, known to all US adults and most UK adults. This isn't the version that I grew up with. We sang LMNOP twice, but I must acknowledge that this is the original. All others are variations of this song. Full disclosure, I'm not a very good singer, so I've asked AI to beef up my vocals a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, the original 1835 version of the ABC song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? The melody began its life in 1761. It was included in a French music book. The book was entitled Les Amusements d'une et demie. The title of the song was very sweet. It was called À vous de rage, maman. Ah, shall I tell you, mama? Over the following decades, the melody was attached to many songs. You probably know it best from Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. No one knows the genius who decided to sing the alphabet to it. The person who wrote the line, "Now I know my ABCs, next time won't you sing with me," is sadly lost to history. And we'll never know who invented the LMNOP squeeze. The author of the most famous kids song in the Western world is unknown. But we know who made money from it. That's Charles Bradley, a music publisher from Boston. He published it in 1835. Charles had a knack for concise and catchy titles, and he called it the ABC, a German air with variations for the flute, with an easy accompaniment for the pianoforte. The LMNOP problem was there on the page in 1835. They've now tried to fix it. I'll play the solution for you in a moment. The alphabet song uses the exact same melody as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That shared tune is almost always written in 4/4 time, 4 steady beats per bar. Each main phrase of the song lasts 2 bars, 8 beats total. Line up the words and the letters and the squeeze becomes obvious. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star becomes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 7 letters fit the 8-beat phrase comfortably. The final letter, G, is simply held a little longer, just as star is held. How I Wonder What You Are becomes HIJKLMNOP. Now there are 9 letters trying to occupy the same 8-beat space. The solution the melody forces is to sing LMNO twice as fast. P then lands on the long-held note that matches R. That's why those 5 letters tumble out in rapid fire. LMNOP. It's not a mistake in the alphabet. It's the melody of Twinkle Twinkle, insisting that 9 letters squeeze into the same rhythmic slot that previously held only 7. But it did cause problems. LMNOP is indeed rushed, and once that sprint is over, the remaining letters have to stretch and pause to stay in step with the later lines of the Twinkle tune. Brief held notes and little breaths on Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y and Z. They suddenly open the song back up again after the scramble. Critics of the song claim that generations of children have grown up thinking that LMNOP is a letter. Teachers are claiming that to this day, that some children are confused. No one in my primary school thought that LMNOP was a letter, but apparently that's a big concern for today's children. So what do we do? Well, a new version is currently sweeping through schools in the States. No doubt it'll soon be over here. Teachers, it seems, are very enthusiastic about it. It's still fringe, but it is gaining traction. YouTube videos have been published, and they're getting millions of views. I'm going to play it for you now. I'd like to know in the comments what you think of this. Ladies and gentlemen, the new ABC song, fit for the 21st century. I must warn viewers with a nervous disposition that LMNOP has been completely dispensed with. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
So, how you feel about that? Does it hurt your ears as much as it hurts mine? Because, Rick, I'm right there with you. No! 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 That messes up the flow. It messes up the flow so poorly that, quite honestly, I forgot the words to the song. How do you forget the words to the song? It's the alphabet in alphabetical order. No, for real. I was like, I don't know what comes after what you just... What comes after you? I forget. No. Pussycat, you weren't listening. I think the song is harder to learn too. But you know what, Chuck? I suppose if you only... I mean, is it though? Right? Like, because we've already heard... Derby Startup, they broke it. You don't even... I totally can't. All right, I'm gonna rewind. First off, Aloha Trail Dust. I tried to type that, but it didn't work. My brain was broken. Second off, my brain is broken. I can't even enunciate my thoughts. They broke my brain, man. Shock. I am very curious if it's going to be harder or easier to learn, and I really don't know if there's any metric to prove. I believe there's... For people our age, obviously, the former one is so heavily ingrained that it's just not, that new version's just not going to stick. But I wonder if for the younger generation who might grow up on that, when they hear our version, if that'll hurt their brain the way the newer version hurts my brain. And I agree, actually, you are losing the benefit of the rhyme. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pussycat, you were busy typing the alphabet that you didn't hear it. And Shaga's Turble Ermagerd. Exactly. It's... Oh. And, I just sort of whispered well, I really only said fa, but still, you know. It just... And Darlene, now I will definitely be interested in hearing my teacher daughter's take on this. Exactly. So I don't know if Puzzy was being serious or not, wanting to hear wanting to hear the new version again, but for the sake of hurting us, I'm hurting us on purpose. Puzzy was not serious. Was he serious? Was he not serious? Puzzy, I will play it again. And just because you dared me to do it, I will. I'm going to hurt our ears again, y'all. I'm going to have to fast forward a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to hurt our ears, y'all. Here we go.
The version I'm about to play. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
No, I don't know I don't know my ABCs. This new version literally makes me want to put W after the U, which you don't. And I want to skip Y entirely. I just want to say X and Z. Like that new version literally made me forget the alphabet. I guess that's what I'm saying. That new version literally made me forget the alphabet. I can't even with this. Okay, I'm gonna say two phrases and you're gonna, hey, Midnight Frequency Radio. I just you just came in to witness broken brains on all our parts. And all I have to say is, those kids these days, get off my lawn. That's sort of where this new alphabet song is bringing me, okay? Oh no. Exactly, it's far too late for us anyway. Midnight Frequency Radio, in case you weren't here. And no, I'm not going to do it again unless he begs. And I'm not asking you to beg, Midnight Frequency Radio. We just watched a video clip about how they're changing the ABC song. Because apparently the LMNOP problem is a problem where some kids think that LMNOP is our one letter. I'm not really sure grammatically how to say how that works. They hear it all as one letter. Now, when I was a little kid, I don't recall me or any of my friends having a problem knowing that L, M, N, O, P, separate letters. But apparently it's a big enough problem now that they've changed the Flying Forkin' song, and they changed it so bad that I literally forgot the letters of the alphabet. As I said, I forgot the words to this song. It is so. I mean, they still say them in order, but no, it just, yeah. And LMNOP is not a letter. It's a Greek epic poetic device imparting a sense of fun to the utterance. LMNOP, like calliope or hyperbole and. Right, and Midnight Frequency Radio, please stick with the original because otherwise you will break your brain. You can look it up. You know what, if you beg, I will, but don't beg. If you really do need to hear what the new version sounds like, you can Google it yourself. I have a video of it here, but we've already watched it twice, and see, that's what it did to me. It sort of broke my brain. And Rick, bringing up a very good point, actually, because when I was in school, not a lot of English as second language kids were in my classroom. There was a couple, but not a lot. And you are right, Rick. We have a huge, well, you're implying this, but way more English as second language people are in our school district. Children are in our schools these days. And Rick says maybe English as second language kids need the change for clarity. So just use both. And that's actually that is, for me, the most legitimate reasoning for changing. If that is the case, that is a legitimate reason for changing the song, I guess, ish, maybe. Yeah, yes, Trail Dust, you can take the earplugs out. And, right, okay, so Midnight Frequency Radio, you heard it. Okay, there you go. And Darlene saying, it never seemed to be an issue singing it and learning it with not only my kids as they grew up, but even with my grandkids either. Exactly. That's why I'm like, why is this all of a sudden an issue that seems like teachers are worried about? And I guess, what Rick did not say is a good indication or a good guess as to why this is an issue now. English is second language. That being said, Rick did not say that. Rick did not say that. Sorry, I withdraw that comment, says Rick. Who wants clarity these days? So Rick didn't say it, but whoever said that and suggested it, that was good. One parent who cannot see her child look confused. Well, right, exactly. Maybe there's that element as well, Shock. And Midnight Frequency Radio, your response, quite honestly, is the only legitimate response, which is WTF, only you probably elongated that. And confusion is a great chance to learn something and have it stick. Absolutely. Yeah, that is totally true. And Pussycat, I guess it's for the kids who can't sing. Well, maybe, but I'm really not so sure that the ABC song, much like the Happy Birthday song, is a very tuneful tune, even for people who can sing. It's just, yeah. I mean, maybe it was good that those songs that everybody sings were written in such a way that nobody sounds good singing them, because everybody has to sing them, so nobody needs to sound good or bad if everybody sounds bad. Right? Now that's a better question. How many kids know and use WTF? Well, you know, Rick, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of kids know WTF, but I also wouldn't be surprised if little kids actually thought that WTF standed. I do actually know how to speak our language. I am fairly fluent in English. I do wonder if some of the little kids think that WTF stood for something different than the F. You know, like, why the fry? Or, you know, what the friend? Or, you know, like, because sometimes I know that, like, elders in our community, when they're faced with, back in the day especially, when texting acronyms were just starting out, I heard of a mom who thought that LOL didn't stand for laughing out loud. She thought it stood for lots of love. So she would send her daughter these text messages and always end it with LOL. Even if it was like a very serious text message, like, you know, your dad's in the hospital, he broke his leg, LOL. Like, what, Mom? That's not a laughable thing. What? And it was eventually a serious thing that made the person like, what do you think LOL stands for? And Mom's like, lots of love. And she's just like, no. So I do wonder, right, why the face? Right, exactly. I do wonder if little kids might think that WTF actually stands for something other than what we as adults may or may not use it for. Just like there are some kids these days, Derby Startup, you thought it was lots of love too. Okay, so it's not even necessarily elders in our community. But you know, there are some kids these days who were born after 9/11 in, you know, 2020, that think that the reason why we call 911 is because of 9/11. And it's like, oh no, honeys, the 911 was around for decades prior to 9/11. But you know, you only know what you know. And what you don't know, your brain tries to fill in the gaps. So it totally makes sense that a little kid might see WTF written a lot and not really know, you know? And let's see here, Darlene probably coming in with some sound quality logic. Those who need a different way with possible learning issues could benefit from the new version, but I really don't think it should replace the original version. Yes, in special educational settings, if it seems to benefit those children, then yes. See, I can appreciate your logic, Darlene, but quite honestly, I'm still just stuck on, like, convince me it's a big enough issue that you need to change the song. Because once, I guess actually, my request is twofold. First off, convince me it's a big enough issue that you need to change the song. Second off, after you've clarified the confusion with the children, was it still not clear? And they still, like, it seems to me a simple clarification that once taught, as Shock mentioned, might actually help the kids remember it better. Is it even after your explanation is explained, are the kids not getting it? In which case, okay, fine, change the song. But, like, just tell them and they'll learn something, and then they learned it and now they know it. I don't... right? But whatever. Okay, so we started a little bit late, but I'm still going to try to stay a little bit on schedule. We're 2 minutes past our Lono listening break. And by the way, Puzzy Cat, I'm getting there. I know, a half hour of ABCs. Who flippin' knew? Anyway, this is a Lono listening break, and it has nothing to do with the ABCs at all. And this is his latest. This is not a Lono tune that Lono wrote by any means. It is a cover from the 1970s, and quite honestly, I don't even know if I know the original song. I don't. Oh, Midnight Frequency Radio. Don't even start to me on the whole Common Core Math situation. Common Core Math is awesome to a degree, and my brain does work that way naturally, but only as an adult does it come so naturally. When I was a little, we're gonna stop. Lono. We're talking about Lono because Midnight Frequency. Whew. All right, yeah. I agree with you, Midnight Frequency Radio. They try too hard to change stuff. Look at Common Core Math. Yeah. And then don't get me started, and I got started. We're talking about Lono now. Lono did not write this song. You cannot buy this song on any Lono albums. You can, however, as Puzzy Cat just pointed out, go to his YouTube channel. It's his latest video. Lono has some new videos. He's starting to post videos again. And last time I talked to him, which was a couple weeks ago, it sounded like he's focusing on doing just cover songs from the 70s and the 80s back in his heyday for the next little while. His YouTube channel is not monetized. He's unable to be monetized. He doesn't have enough followers. And because his channel's not monetized, it doesn't matter if he gets copyright strikes against him, just like with me, because any advertising revenue that YouTube would if Lono's, okay, rewind. If Lono's channel or my channel were monetized, any ad revenue any ads that show before my stream, I would get money for. But since it's not monetized, YouTube keeps that money. Now, if I have a copyright strike or a copyright violation on my channel, let's just say I play a Cyndi Lauper song. Now, the ad revenue from my stream has to go to Cyndi Lauper. Because Cyndi Lauper was copyright. It was her copyright. So anyway, my point is, Lono is not monetized. So anything that gets copyright violated from his channel, doesn't take any money out of his pocket. That's the issue here with folks. When content creators say, oh, I had to blur that sound out, oh, I couldn't, blah, 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 I didn't want to get a copyright violation, it's not because it really affects their channel. It affects the money they get from the entire stream. Even if you only have 3 minutes of a song, that entire hour's worth of content gets all of the ads associated with that hour or 2 hours or half hour, however long it is, they get to go to Cyndi Lauper or whoever it is, whoever's copyright you violated, whoever holds that copyright. So anyway, Lono figures since he's not copyright or he's not monetized, it's no skin off his back where that ad money goes to. And so as far as he's concerned, he's helping out the police, Sting, or this other, whoever, like they're the ones who are going to get the money because it was their song. So, oh, is Andre in the house? Oh, Andre, hey, good to see you. Yeah, we're talking about the new ABC song and how it hurts our head. And let's see here, preschool kids are the main target audience for that song. Maybe those parents need a refresher first. Actually, yeah, maybe they do. Because if my kid came home singing the ABC song the way it's sung now, I would correct them. I'd be like, that's not how the song goes, kid. And let's see here. Children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder sometimes need a more intricate or different way of learning. So again, maybe use their... Yeah, okay, there you go. Exactly. I mean, I'm just curious if the old one doesn't, but yeah. Anyway. Alrighty, so... Andre, there are lots of ABC songs now? Oh, no, stop, don't. My brain broke just hearing the one. Andre, you always know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna not believe you this time. I'm gonna believe there are only 2 versions of the ABC song, the proper one and the wrong one. And that's just it. And yeah, Trail Dust, this is the Lono listening break, yeah. Who knew the ABCs were so important? All right, I can't remember what the flippin' flippin' flying forkin' song is called, but this is Lono's latest video. Go check it out. You can find out what it's called. It's a great song. We're listening to Lono now. And if Lono does an ABC song in his future, he better do the proper one. Mm-hmm.
Retsina, she keeps me safe and warm. It's just a calm before the storm. Calling my reservation. So long, hey, thanks, my friend. I try my luck again. Danger on the rocks will surely pass. Still I remain tied to the mast. Be that I have found my home at last. Home at last. Danger on the rocks will surely pass. Still I remain tied to the mast. Could it be that I have found my home at last? Home at last.
All right, there we go. Okay, so Steely Dan, that's who it is, says Fuzzy Cat. That explains it. I don't... Honestly, if you held a knife to my flippin' flirpin' head, I couldn't tell you a Steely Dan song to save my life, literally. Oh, wait, hold on. If you held a knife to my throat, how about that? Or a gun to my head. I mean, I suppose a knife to the head would be a problem as well. Did I tell you that I get my wires crossed sometimes? Anyway, Andre coming in with some Steely Dan factuations. Steely Dan, in 1977, Walter Becker left. Obviously, there's a picture here and not here. And Donald Fagen. Steely Dan in 77... Wait, hold on. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so Hudson, New York, jazz rock, jazz fusion, soft rock. Oh, yeah. And Pussycat, the Aha album is awesome. Or the Aja album, I don't actually know how to say that. Andre, I heard Steely Dan songs, but I do not know their names. Andre, I'm pretty sure I've probably heard Steely Dan songs too. But I wouldn't know one if I heard one, and I definitely don't know their names. And so, it's pronounced Asia. Okay. Aja. Asia. I never would have. No, never would have. But okay. Asia. There we go. You know, there's another way to spell Asia, right? Yes, exactly, Trail Dust. Did I tell you I get my wires crossed? My cross is wired sometimes. Oh, I like that even better. Did Did I tell you I get my crosses wired sometimes? That I'm gonna have to steal that. Yes, indeed. That Asia is a black girl name. Do you see? All right. Once again, I would just say Aja, though. If I saw that as a substitute teacher in a class and there was a black student with that name, I'd still say Aja. I never would have put Asia to that. Not one bit. But can anybody tell me a Steely Dan song? Yeah, exactly. That is full on a t-shirt slogan right there. But and don't go Googling it. I want this off the top of your guys' heads. Can anybody even just name a Steely Dan song off top their head? Let's see here. Okay, I am joking because it's spelled like Aja, but the spelling would be different, but it would be Asia. Gotcha. And Puzzy School, my old school. Ricky, don't lose that number. That's a Steely Dan song? Okay, I know that song. I do know that song. Okay, awesome. Rick, I actually do know that song. Never did I know that was a Steely Dan song. Didn't know who did it, but I know that. I know a Steely Dan song, man. Now, now the question is Ricky Don't Lose That Number, is that on the Asia album? Very, very curious. I do remember when I was working at the record store, seeing the Asia, AJA, didn't know it said Asia, saying that on a record cover though. Once again, didn't remember that it was a Steely Dan song, album. And Pussycat, there's a lot of songs that are awesome on the album. Molly, Don't Lose That Number. Yeah, but Ricky Don't Lose That Number, isn't there I feel like there's a Peg. I don't think I know that song. But isn't there like a Phil Collins song? Like, Billy, don't you lose my number, 'cause they're not anyway. I've heard of Reelin' in the Years, but in my head, I hear it as Holding Back the Years by that red guy from Scotland. See, I get my wires crossed a lot. I'm gonna have to look up Ricky Don't Lose That Number. I'm also gonna have to look up that Phil Collins song, or what I think is a Phil Collins song. Ricky Don't Lose That Number is a single released in '74 by the American rock band Steely Dan and the opening track of their third album, Pretzel Logic. It was the most successful single of the group's career, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Deacon Blues. Definitely have never heard of Deacon Blues. But it sounds like Rick might be a little bit of a Steely Dan head, a Steely Dan fan. I know that my old college roommate, Holly, her dad was a big Steely Dan fan, and she has gone to plenty of Steely Dan shows with her father. If she were here in this room right now, she'd be able to reel off all sorts of Steely Dan tunes. So people my age are familiar with Steely Dan, just not me people, not me. And Puzzy and Rick giving each other cheers over the Deacon Blues. It's awesome. And I find Steely Dan kind of whiny, says Shock. I gotta tell you, I'm not a real fan of the whole soft jazz fusion, rock genre of things that was really popular in the 70s. And Andre, yes, you're glad that I'm not an electrician, because crosswires can be dangerous. And Andre, Steely Dan is not jazz, but I think you just posted that The genres are considered jazz rock, soft rock, and jazz fusion. Oh, and pop. And that whole jazz rock thing is just not really my vibe. And Pussycat's like, it's adult alternative music. I don't know, dude. Maybe back in the day it was adult alternative music. It's not adult alternative music anymore. It's prog rock. Oh, is that... Wait, I thought Rush was prog rock. I would not even consider... I obviously don't know what prog rock is because I thought Rush was prog rock, and I would definitely not say that Rush and Steely Dan are even in the same... I mean, they're in the same decade of music, but that's about all I would say about that. And I know what they say, but it's not jazz like the Quiet Storm kind of music. I don't know what the Quiet Storm... I don't even know what you mean by that, dude. Is that how jazz is described? I mean, I think of jazz very similar to how I think of rock, in the sense that, like, it encompasses a wide variety of music that falls under the umbrella. But But jazz rock, I just am not a fan of. And exactly, dude, I agree. Rick is saying it's more like yacht rock. And that is how my ear hears it. It's more like yacht rock. And I don't think that yacht rock, in my very ignorant opinion, yacht rock and prog rock are not really the same thing. And shock, I like Latin jazz, which tends to be more square than other kinds. Okay, I'll give you that. I don't mind Latin jazz as well. Quiet Storm. Okay, so Quiet Storm stylistic origins. Okay, so I guess that's a style. R&B smooth, jazz, fusion pop, rock, easy listening, cultural origins, mid-70s, United States. List of Quiet Storm songs is a radio format and genre of R&B performed in a smooth, romantic, jazz-influenced style. It was named after the title track of Smokey Robinson's 75 album, A Quiet Storm. The radio format was pioneered in 76 by Melvin Lindsay while he was a student intern at the DC radio station WHUR. Okay, first I'm hearing of it, so I will need to go down a rabbit hole and hear songs that are defined as that, because I'm still not really sure about that. And Darlene, I do like all sorts of types of music, but I really, in my early younger years, got into Tom Petty, Eric Clapton, definitely Beatles, Bob Dylan, I'm assuming you meant to say, but like, again, a bunch of other music too. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know, I mean, I very rarely find... Doesn't everybody like almost all kinds of music? I mean, not necessarily to listen to all the time, but it's like, oh yeah, I actually like that heavy metal song, oddly enough. Or, you know, I don't know. I mean, music... Most people listen to all, like... Doesn't it seem like most people like a lot of types of music? Not just one? And then, right, I don't like some forms of jazz, exactly, but there are some jazz songs that you probably don't mind. So it's like, it feels like, I'm not saying everybody likes every type of music. Like, I just can't with what I call Cookie Monster rock, when the vocals are all distorted and they sound like Cookie Monster. I don't like any of that. But Cookie Monster rock is kind of is a genre of rock and roll music, and I do like rock music. And let's see here. Andre said we had a radio station that was called The Quiet Storm. My mom's best friend always played that station. Yeah, I've literally until today never heard the term Quiet Storm. And Midnight Frequency Radio. Anybody like ELO? I, once again, cannot name any song that ELO has done, but I can tell you this. I know what ELO stands for. The Electric Light Orchestra. But I don't know any of theirs. I'm sure I have heard one of their songs. I'd be willing to bet that I've heard 5 of their songs, maybe even 10. But I can also tell you, I wouldn't be able to pick one out. And let's see here. That was what was popular, the music in the time when I was younger, influenced by the music back then. Yes, exactly. And just pick a descriptor and prefix it to rock. Yeah, and some forms of rock I like, some forms of rock I don't, some forms of jazz I like, some forms of jazz I don't, some forms of country music I like. In fact, some forms of country music I love, some forms I don't. Some forms of folk music I like, some forms I don't. I'm sure there's some bluegrass music that I don't like, but I have yet, now that I think about it, to find bluegrass that I don't like. And let's see here. Okay, so the songs for ELO are Josie Gaucho, Home at Last, Black Cow, Can't Buy a Thrill, and Mr. Blue Sky, Don't Bring Me Down. Don't Bring Me Down. I've heard that song. I've heard that song. Exactly. Shock is like, oh yeah, I know Don't Bring Me Down. And yes, exactly, Andre. I really like old country. New country, I don't really like so much. In fact, new country, I have a hard time calling new country because really it is, to me, just rock and roll. And I am not a fan of new country in the sense of it being music I listen to, but I am very thankful that they have carried the tradition of guitar-based music forward, because popular music these days for the younger cultures generally are not very guitar-oriented. They're much more beat-oriented, and, well, at this point, they're more electronic-oriented. And I do enjoy a good guitar. And then, well, Andre, patriotic country. Andre says, I do not like patriotic new country, nor do I. But I think we both can, all admit, country has always had a patriotic streak in parts of it throughout the ages. So that's not really a new country thing. That's sort of a constant country thing that maybe I'm not a fan of as well. Reeling in the years maybe is what you meant to say, Pussycat. I don't know about that song. And Evil Woman, I've never heard of. I've heard of Devil Woman. I've heard of Witchy Woman, but I've never heard of Evil Woman. Interesting. And Darlene. But as my girls grew up, I got used to a lot of their music they were getting into. Green Day and other groups, genres. Darlene, did you know that Green Day has a new movie coming out? Green Day has a movie coming out. It's called Nimrods. I'm so excited to see it. I haven't been to a movie theater since they started since before COVID. I haven't been to a movie theater since before COVID to watch a movie. And this Tuesday, I am going to a movie theater. I've already bought my ticket to go see Green Day's new movie called Nimrods. It's about this group of little punk rock boys who accidentally run across Green Day and give them a cassette tape of their music. That's right, a cassette tape, y'all. They give Green Day a cassette tape of their music in hopes that Green Day will like their music. And they apparently, this is the movie, love the music so much that they go and invite this little punk rock band to open for them for like their New Year's Eve show or some big show in Los Angeles. But the thing is these little punk rock kids don't live in Los Angeles, they live somewhere else. So they have to figure out a way to get to the show. And so it's a road tripping movie about these little punk rock boys who are going to go open for Green Day. And it looks so silly. It's a coming of age punk rock movie. And I am so excited to go see it. So tell your daughters, Darlene, that if they are still fans of Green Day, they're still culturally relevant, actually. Not only that, Green Day has a new YouTube channel out called GTV, and it's nothing but it's not Green Day videos, but it's nothing but videos of new music and then some funny stuff about Green Day. So, I need to stop talking about Green Day because I sound like I'm 15 years old, but oh my God, I love Green Day. And as Andre points out, Green Day are a Bay Area band. They're from the San Francisco area, from what I understand. And yeah, there we go. I'd also know, and Andre points out Black Magic Woman by Santana. I know that song. I've heard Devil Woman, I've heard Witchy Woman, I've heard Black Magic Woman, but I've never heard, to go back to our ELO topic, Evil Woman. And let's see here. And I have the Steely Dan album playing on my Roku. It's on YouTube, says Pussycat. All right. And then let's see here. All y'all know any songs about Los Angeles that we haven't thought of? What do you mean? Like, wait, what? We've been talking about songs about Los Angeles? Shit. Like, don't mention the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Well, first off, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, RHCP, by the way, is Red Hot Chili Peppers. Red Hot Chili Peppers, wait. Every song that the Red Hot Chili Peppers sings is about California. So, but that's exactly it, Pussycat. The only song that comes to mind when you mention Los Angeles to me is LA Woman by The Doors. Well, that, and then there's a bunch of like Snoop Dogg stuff, but that's actually more about Long Beach than Los Angeles, so that's a different story. But yeah, LA Woman by The Doors. And Trail Dust, how have we gone this long without talking about food? That is a good question, and you know what? I don't really know. Y'all, Trail Dust, how have we gone this long without talking about food? I don't even have a food topic to talk about today. Last time we talked about Spam dogs and mayonnaise on musubi, but I don't have a food topic today. All right. Oh yeah, California Dreamin' by he has a Hong Kong pop band playing California Dreamin'. I don't know. Oh, okay, gotcha. A Hong Kong pop band playing California. But California Dreamin', that was actually from Mamas and Papas before, right? Yes, that was. I already know that. And, okay, Shock wants to talk about chocolate. Let's talk about chocolate, you guys. Have any of you tried that, you made a kind of pizza roll yesterday? Okay, that sounds yummy. And I made some tzatziki sauce the other day, and I have a whole bunch left over, and I don't really know what else to make with it. So if you guys know of anything that I should eat tzatziki sauce with, let me know. And as far as the chocolate topic goes, have you guys ever tried the ruby chocolate? It's like kind of pink. It's made from a specific kind of cocoa bean. I've never tried the ruby chocolate before, but I am curious. And how is my new experimental spam bread versions working? They're okay. I think I've nailed down the final recipe, but I haven't, in the last month or so, I've been so distracted with other stuff that last couple months, basically since the stroke, I've been so distracted with other things. I haven't really been focusing on my spam bread game. And, let's see here. All right, Andre's coming in with some Los Angeles music situations. The influential punk rock band X released their landmark debut album, Los Angeles, in April 1980. The entire record serves as a gritty cinematic critique of the seedy underbelly, social decay, and dark side of Southern California, far removed from Hollywood glamour. And, let's see here. Oh, are you just looking for songs? Oh, I see. You're looking for songs for a playlist. Yeah, well, any Red Hot Chili Pepper song will fit a California thing, but that gets a little old. I see. Okay. And let's see here. Shock. I like the Aldi 25 gram dark chocolate with sea salt bars. I don't have an Aldi, so I know nothing of this, but literally last night, I dreamt I was in Hawaii, and we came across an Aldi store, and I convinced the tour guide that I was with in Hawaii, this was a dream, that we needed to stop at Aldi to get the stuff, and she was like, oh, that's where they've got the best orchids and lays, and it was a dream. It was very bizarre. But I went to Aldi in my dream last night, and I got a really pretty orchid lei, which doesn't actually exist, but it did in my dream. And Pussycat, you took pizza dough. Okay, I'm liking this so far. Rolled it up with meatballs. I'm liking it even better. And cheese, kind of like a calzone. Was there any sauce? Like tomato sauce, like pizza sauce, tomato sauce? Because I feel like I would want some sauce, either in it or on it. But I'll tell you right, or to dip it in. Either way, I would eat that. And Andre, yeah, no Aldi in your California area either. Yeah, I don't think there are any Aldis on the West Coast. Definitely don't quote me on that. We got Trader Joe's galore, but no Aldis. And let's see here. Aldi's is in Florida. Okay. And let's see here. Darlene coming in. Those are delicious, Shock. I've tried a few of those. Oh, you guys are making me jealous. I even like the dark chocolate and orange as well as the sea salt. Okay, I can do that. When I was little, I didn't used to like chocolate orange. I did like chocolate raspberry, but not chocolate orange. Now that I'm a grown up, I don't mind chocolate orange, and that sounds quite tasty. And let's see here, Andre coming in. Aldi's, I thought that they were owned by two different companies entirely. Okay, Aldi's, okay, yes, but through a separate corporate branch. Trader Joe's is owned by Aldi Nord, the northern half of the split German grocery company, while the traditional Aldi stores in the United States are operated by Aldi Süd, the southern half. They are entirely independent companies with different management. Got it. Oh, okay. And and Darlene, I haven't seen Lay's at our Aldi's yet. Yeah, I don't think you will. I mean, I'm not. Well, first off, Darlene, if my dream was any indication, they're gonna have the Lay's on the ceiling. Like I said, it was a dream. But the Lay's will be hanging from the ceiling. They'll be made of orchids. Yeah. They'll be made of orchids. Hanging from the ceiling. And Andre, they do have Aldi in Southern California. Oh, okay. Well, then they're probably going to creep up the coast, I'll bet, maybe one day. I kind of hope they do, because I really would like to see what an Aldi's is all about. And from what I hear and from what I've seen online, it is very low cost. And Pussycat says Aldi's is like a cheaper Sam's Club. That's weird, because I thought Sam's Club was already known for being cheap, so that's crazy. And Trail Dust, derailing to food is never going to be a hard thing to do. The closest thing that I've ever that I had, no fee, gotcha, that's why it's cheaper, gotcha. Yeah, Winco here in the United States, I don't know if it's cross country or if it's just a West Coast thing or what, but Winco, I like Winco because it's got Costco prices without having to buy in bulk like at Costco, and there's no membership fee. So it sounds like perhaps Aldi's is like that too, because I've never gotten the impression that Aldi's is a bulk buying, where you have to buy everything big. And let's see here, owning its footprint in the western United States with targeted expansions in Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado, but it has not announced plans to expand into the Pacific Northwest or Northern California. Andre is talking about Aldi's, by the way. The chain relies on multi-billion dollar nationwide growth strategy, aiming for 3,200 stores. Fine. And Shock, Aldi doesn't spend money on store decor, end caps, stocking, etc. Their product boxes are sized to set on the shelf with units inside, so they just set up a case at a time. Oh, okay. And we have Publix grocery stores in Florida, and they are extremely expensive. Yeah, it's so funny how we have Whole Foods here in the Pacific Northwest, and they call it Whole Paycheck for a reason. It's pretty impressive, the prices that they that they charge. Yeah, they call it Whole Paycheck for a reason. In fact, I'm sure Whole Foods is everywhere. I think it's a nationwide thing. But if it's not, I'll just tell you right now, unless you very, very specifically need a very, very specific health food items that only Whole Foods carries, don't shop at Whole Foods. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculously overpriced. It is... I went into debt just walking through the flipping store. Didn't buy a flipping thing. And oh, well, there you go. Whole Foods is now owned by Amazon. Well, that's another reason for me not to shop there. And you haven't had a steak dinner for a long time. You and me both, Pussycat. You and me both. Shoot, I feel like I'm living high on the hog, so to speak, when I'm eating hamburger. I mean, beef is literally, when I look at the cost per pound for beef, I'm just like, wow, I don't understand how we were so rich growing up when we ate this much beef. I just, no. And, oh my God, dude, Andre, they've got a Whole Foods in Maui. Can you imagine how much the food is there? Yes, I can. Gosh, you know, if anybody ever goes to, oh man, now, I'll bet you, okay, so $35 for a small steak, Pussycat, that's ridiculous. That's like restaurant prices as far as I'm concerned, right? I mean, actually, I can get a $35 steak even here in the Pacific Northwest, but I can go to a butcher for that. At a grocery store, $35 for a steak, that is, no. But let's just go back to Whole Foods Maui. If the random regular stores are selling on Oahu are selling a gallon of milk for like $8, how much do you think a gallon of milk on Maui in Whole Foods would cost? I'd be willing like $15, right? Verity, good to see you. Whole Foods quality has gone way down. Well, I'm not really surprised with their new owner, but that's just me. But hey, Verity, are you... Oh, but you're not on Maui. Okay, can anybody do some, like, let's see if we can put out our feelers. Do we know people in Maui? If you know people in Maui, can you have them go to Whole Foods and, like, find out how much a gallon of milk costs? I will be willing... I would bet $1, because I'm poor and don't have a lot of betting money, that it is at least $15. Walmart is $3.04 a gallon of milk, and Publix is $1 more. Right? Yeah. No, that's yeah. Well, Walmart's pretty cheap, and Publix being just $1 more, $4.04 for a gallon. That Pussycat, that's so cute. From Pacific Northwest perspective, $4.04 for a gallon of milk is actually pretty cheap. But yeah, why pay $1 more when you can get it for $1 cheaper at Walmart? Let's see here, Darlene, and also on their weekly ads, I think she's speaking of Aldi. If you see something you like, better get there earlier in the week, or that sale item will be bought out. We really like their grass-fed ground beef. Then when it goes on sale, so much cheaper than any other stores. Nice, yeah. And so it sounds like they don't do rain checks on their prices then. So if once you go there and it's been sold out, you can't get a rain check for when they get it back in, it sounds like. Which I guess doesn't really surprise me because they're a German company and I have no idea, but I don't know how common rain checks are these days. I've seen people ask for them at the store at Safeway, so I'm pretty sure they still exist. I don't know if I've ever gotten one before. But it sounds like Aldi doesn't do that. And I guess because they're a German company, maybe that's why. We have dairy farms here. Oh, Honey Bunches, Pussycat, we've got dairy farms here too. Trust me. And Pussycat, you did get a rain check the other day, but you didn't probably get one at Aldi's, right? And really, rain checks are brilliant. Honestly, if you can and remember to use them, you really should, if you can. But I am curious if Aldi's just doesn't, because if what you're saying is true, Darlene, and I'm not surprised, that their grass-fed beef gets sold out when it's on sale. Like, can you ask for a rain check? Why not, right? And let's see here. Andre, I get my meat mostly delivered from a company called Misfit Market, and I get 16 T-bone for about 21 bucks. Yeah, Misfit Market, actually my boss uses that. They have some really interesting and good quality food there, without a doubt. I haven't used that service yet, but you can get a 16 ounce T-bone for $21. Yeah, that's a good deal, I guess, but I'd rather have 16 T-bones for $21, which is how I first read that comment. And let's see, so Christmas for you, Molly, is a gift certificate to that local butcher, the one with the sign, that's special that week of Burien. Yeah, that is where I like to get most of my meat. Andre, who's been to Burien, knows the butcher that I'm referring to, because there's only one butcher in Burien. It's called B&E Meats, and I do try to get most of my meat there. But I will admit, I don't get my breakfast sausage from there, because I just get my Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage from the grocery store, because it's Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage. It's the way sausage is supposed to taste. So, yeah. And Darlene, nope. No rain checks, but they have a policy if you can buy something and if dissatisfied can do a return of the product. Even without bringing it back, you get the price back, and if you want, you can try the product again free. Just to be sure you're not pleased with the product. Weird. I understand the no rain checks, but the whole you can buy it, say you don't like it, and then try it again for free, that is weird. That is weird. And let's see here. I did my wash across the street from that butcher last day before I left for home. Oh, right, yeah, at the VibraClean. I know the laundromat across the street from the butcher. And okay, so Organic Valley vitamin D milk at Kahului is $11.49. And is Kahului where the Whole Foods is? I would assume it maybe could be either that or Kihei. Is that where the Whole Foods? So many words trying to escape my mouth at once. Shock. Is that price you are quoting from the Whole Foods market? That is what I'm trying to ask. $11.49 though, that's still too expensive. I was just like going extra expensive, but yeah, that's where the airport is. Yeah, no, I know that. So is that where the Whole Foods is? I'm assuming. I mean, it makes sense that they would put it there, but I don't know where the Whole Foods is on Maui, so I wasn't sure. Okay, so that is the Whole Foods. $11.49, Organic Valley even. Okay. All right, so it was a whole $3.50 cheaper than I thought. I would have lost $1 on that bet. Still though, it's way too expensive for milk. And let's see here. Whole Foods operates prominent locations across Oahu, featuring local vendors, poke bars, and the like. Yes, but we're not talking about Oahu. We're talking about Maui. We're talking about Maui, which is a little bit off island. Oahu, still pricey, I'm sure. And Puzzycat, that's too much. I'd give up milk. Exactly. I will have to send you $1. Shock, I will have to send you that $1. I've got your address. I'll probably send you $1 in the mail, even though you're not supposed to. And you know what else you're not supposed to do? Well, we're not supposed to go past the bottom of the hour, but we did. But we started late, so we're still on time-ish. Are my crossed wires? Are my wires crossed? Is my cross wired? And, let's see here. Darlene, I can get lactose-free half-gallon of milk, 2% or whole, for only $2.99. At other stores, $3.99 at most other stores. Right, so, and then half-gallon doubled would be $8, but then a little bit different and blah, blah, blah. Milk and eggs got pricey, y'all. All right, so are my clocks crossed? Not yet, but they will be soon. No, in a couple months. And the half gallon on Maui was $7.99. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, on that note, we talked about food. We talked about milk. We talked about the price of eggs in China. Not really. But And let's see here. You sent $40 in the mail last week. I'm not going to be in trouble again. Well, I don't know where you sent it to, but I hope they got it. And I don't know where you get in trouble for sending the cash in the mail. I've sent cash in the mail before. I've gotten cash in the mail before. I get the cash in the mail. No. When I was a little kid and my birthday roll around, I got cash in the mail all the time. I mean, granted, it was like $5, but I still got it. All right, you guys, $5. That's what I got when I was a little kid in the mail. Pussycat mailed $40, and they still got it. Inflation, that's what we do. Am I speaking nonsense? Indeedly do. I am speaking nonsense. I'm getting the 2-minute warning 6 minutes past the bottom of the hour. Everybody's clock is a little bit off. And exactly, Darlene, I thought there was a bill that was stopping daylight savings too, which is why after I said my clocks might not be cross-wired for a couple months, then my wires got crossed again because I was like, I did say this in my brain, but not out loud. Oh no, wait, are we not doing that anymore? So, I don't know. I don't know. And I remember, if sending illegal substances like drugs, not by USPS, just UPS or FedEx. That is true, although I have sent drugs home by USPS and there wasn't any problem. Okay. And I don't know. I thought it was to keep daylight savings. I think it is, but did it pass? Are we really? I don't really know. We're going to find out. Midnight Frequency Radio, though, his wires are not crossed. They're just shorted out, which reminds me, oh my God, you guys, I know I need to shut up, but I saw on the interwebs the idea, or not an idea. Well, it was an idea. This video of this lady who was super pissed. I mean, she was angry. She had called around all these mechanics, and all the mechanics were just like, no, we can't do that. No, we're not going to do that. No, we don't do that. She was super pissed because none of the mechanics that she called were willing to charge her spark plugs. And her spark plugs needed to be recharged, y'all. But nobody's willing to recharge my spark plugs. They just want to sell me some new ones. I don't need new spark plugs. I just need these ones recharged. She probably needed blinker fluid too. Yeah. Anyway. The good old days of ordering fireworks through the mail are over. I didn't know you could send fireworks through the mail. And let's see here. We had a transformer blow down the street the other day. We lost power over the course of about a minute. And after that, it sounded like gun battle was going on here. Oh, no. That's awful. It was a bit anxiety-inducing. I don't. And yes, Pussycat, that's exactly it. You don't recharge spark plugs. But nobody could tell her that. I mean, the amount of indignancy that she had over... It was funny. And Andre, you just went down to Chinatown to get illegal fireworks back in the day. Yeah, we just go to the Indian reservations to get illegal fireworks. You don't have to get nothing through the mail. You just go to the res. And in fact, actually, there is this one on the Skokomish reservation. There is literally a fireworks stand. And it's a big eagle, a bald eagle, big bald eagle. And the name of the fireworks stand is ILL, I-L-L, Eagle, E-A-G-L-E, because it's an eagle. The ILL Eagle Fireworks Stand. Yep, that's what it's called. And I used to get weed in the mail, UPS. Yeah, totally, dude. I used to send weed in the mail, UPS, or FedEx, sometimes, whichever one was cheaper. But I absolutely did used to do that. In fact, actually, there's a couple people, there are people who you may or may not have seen on TV that used to get my weed. Or at least you saw their voice on TV. You didn't necessarily see them. But let me make it very clear. No, not anymore. Let me make it very clear. Statute of limitations has passed on this, I hope, and not anymore. And Shock, you're right. Someone could have hooked them up to a fake battery source for a minute and give them back, charge her $5. That is true. They could have. I mean, yeah, why not, right? Yeah, there you go. But isn't it illegal to send weed in the mail to states that are illegal? Oh, Darlene, it's illegal to send weed in. If I sent weed in the mail from one point in Washington to another, that would be illegal. That would be illegal. You don't even have to cross state lines. No, it is absolute. It's federally illegal. And the Postal Service is a federal agency. So them handling any kind of anything is illegal. Crossing state lines, even if I sent weed from Washington to Oregon, where it's legal, not illegal, but legal in both states, very illegal. Yes, very, very, very illegal. Very. But people still do it. People still did it. Someone you may or may not have known from online maybe did it once. Maybe. I mean, I did. So there's no maybe there. But I maybe did it again, too. Maybe. Rick, send it USPS. They'd probably lose it. That was always a risk, without a doubt. And then the one time when it got found out, that was awkward. But we're not going to talk about that. Anyway. You think your mom did it from Hawaii? Oh, probably. All right, you guys. So we have now pretty much almost caught up to as long as we're late from before, we're now late again. So, and Terry in Scotland's just like, yes, we're done now. Mahalo, Molly. We can go now. We can go now. All right, y'all. I'll see you on Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll have more better food topics than just the price of eggs and milk on Maui. We didn't talk about the price of eggs. We're not going to either. All right. Have a good one. We'll see each other soon. Take care. Oh, by the way, thank you guys for subbing, resubbing, and all the biddies, etc.